So you can see there's my current location. I am on the water. These are my previous GPS tracks. I have not explored any of the south end of the lake. Yeah, you can see the finger there I'm penning in on, and then even further west towards Carter's Dam. So today's goal is to come out and explore the rest of the lake, and that'll be a wrap on Carter's. After today's trip, it should wrap up exploring this entire lake. And then I may or may not have one more video coming out that's part of this Carter's Lake series I've been doing. I do have a plan to circumnavigate the entire 60 or so miles of the lake with an overnight camping trip in there. So I don't know if that's gonna happen before it gets too cold or maybe in the spring, but definitely be on the lookout for that. So far, I seem to like this side of the lake versus the north end has the river, but from what I can tell over here on the south side so far, it's like the banks are more accessible. At least over there. There's a lot of cool rock structures back up over there. And this cove is really cool. It actually kind of reminds me of a river, and if I'm not mistaken, there is a creek up here. It looks like once we get so far up, we probably won't be able to go any further, but so this is Harris Creek. Pretty good sized creek, actually. You can tell it floods, good heavy rain, and that explains why this cove directly in front that we came down looks more like a river than a lake, because technically this is part of Harris Creek still, probably till on around the bend up there. So pretty cool find. There's another cove on the other side of this bridge. It's also got a feeder creek that we're gonna go check out. Oof. It's kind of scary. I completely missed that on the way in. Johnson Creek. This is about as far up. I could go another 10-15 feet, but this is about as far up as I can go. Right back here though, it's really nice camp area right there on that point. And then I'm looking right here, this is pretty flat, good area for some tents and hammocks. So definitely gonna be pinning these two locations. Before I dismounted the boat, I've looked on the map to double check that this wasn't private property, and it is still inside the boundaries of Carter's Lake WMA, so it is public. We're good on that. I was just kind of curious because it seems really well maintained right here. Looks like maybe it's underwater a lot of the time. I'm not sure. It's pretty muddy. So I know the lake was just up from all the rain, but maybe that's why. Really nice area. Yeah, probably one of the better access points on the entire lake that I've found so far. It goes all the way out to the point, and then over there across is where the camping opportunities were that I was discussing a while ago. And it is extremely shallow right there by the point, so most boats could probably park over here somewhere, although if you look at the water good enough, it's only a foot deep all the way through. So you could put a tent here and camp, and this would actually be a perfect spot right here. Nice and level. So definitely gonna pin this. This is October 18th, and we are definitely seeing some color change finally. The lower underbrush kind of stuff is really starting to pop with different colors. The higher, taller trees are just showing signs of yellow, mostly green, but this underbrush stuff is really changing. It's a beautiful setting on the lake. I actually don't know what recreation area this is. Maybe Woodring. I'm not sure. I looked on the maps and I did not see a name for this. I will say the majority of Carter's Lake is extremely deep, but these stump fields, timber stands, whatever you want to call them, if you ride close to the bank, they're all over the place. And Fish Finder says we're working at 44 feet deep, so these are the tops of trees. So just got to be mindful when you're flying up, 50 yards off the bank, that some of this stuff is just barely under the water. I already marked 2 from over in the other cove. I came up in here because I wanted to check out that tree. Looks pretty crazy. And I ran up into this timber stand, so just be mindful of that on Carter's. As you look around the bank on Carter's Lake, there's never any docks, there's never any houses, it's all woods. The entire body of the lake is surrounded by Carter's Lake WMA, but it doesn't go without seeing things like this. Generally speaking, that is a absolutely beautiful view, other than the fact that you can see all those $1 million cabins. It looks like people have probably camped here in the past, maybe been a while, but this tree here could be cleaned up to make room. There's some brush that could be made room, 1 or 2 tents, perfect hammock areas. One of the cool things about this particular cove is it is rather deep up through here. You got a nice tree hanging out over the cove. You could hang limb lines on, you could throw poles from here for fishing, and you've got cover over here that's probably going to hold fish. This is actually a really nice area back up in this cove over here, so definitely another one worthy of a pin. It's part of the marina. It's like one of the only docks, well, that one, and there's one back there, but some of the only docks that are on Carter's. This particular slip system seems like it's all houseboats, yachts, which is interesting. They're all the same. All have the same paint scheme. Interesting. I wonder if the company owns them and rents them out. So just an update on the GPS tracks. If you look here on the map, the purple is today's track, and you can see I've ran down into all these south end fingers, and then run up across in front of the dam there. And then I am there at my cursor. This is exactly where I stopped exploring last time. So at this point, I have explored every cove and finger on the entire body of Carter's Lake. And if you look up here in the top towards the Coosawattee River, I have explored that up as far as a motorboat can go. Technically, as far as any boat can go upriver. There's just a bunch of big rapids and shoals. So now to figure out what I'm gonna do from this point for the rest of the trip. Up this finger on the northwest side of the lake. I thought it was the finger that I wanted to come back and check when the color started changing, but it turns out I don't know the lake that well apparently. It was another finger on further back from where I came, so I'll just have to catch that one on the next outing. But this finger is still pretty cool. It's long and it's wide open, so get a nice long wide open run out of it. Now we're gonna head back down the cove and back towards the ramp, and that'll be a wrap for the day.